All right, let's dive into one of the biggest head scratchers for anyone with a website. You log into your analytics, you see that traffic number climbing, and you think, yes, we're winning. But then you check your search rankings for the keywords you actually care about, and they're sinking. How on earth does that happen? Well, today we're going to play detective and find out. Does this picture look a little familiar? Yeah, I bet it does for a lot of you. It's this classic, confusing scenario where one arrow goes up and the other goes down. It feels like you're taking one step forward and one step back. So what's really going on here? Let's get to the bottom of it. Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to conduct a full-on investigation. First, we'll look at the puzzle itself. Then, we'll bring in our 4 main suspects, from user intent to hidden glitches. And finally, we'll wrap it all up, solve the case, and figure out exactly what you need to do. First things first, we have to tackle the big misunderstanding at the very center of this whole mystery. We've got to get one thing straight. Traffic and rankings are just not measuring the same thing. Not even close. This right here is the absolute key. See, on one hand, traffic growth is just about quantity. It's the raw number of people coming to your site. Think of it as counting heads. But search rankings, that's all about quality. That's Google's way of judging how relevant your page is, and most importantly, how satisfied a user was with your answer. And in the eyes of a search engine, one perfectly happy user is worth way more than 1,000 confused ones.
So you might be asking, okay, but if my main keywords are dropping, where is all this new traffic coming from? Well, it can be from all sorts of places. Maybe you're cranking out more blog posts, you've got a paid ad campaign running, a post went viral on social media, or you're starting to rank for a bunch of new, less competitive keywords. Now, these are all great things, don't get me wrong, but they don't have a direct line to improving your rank for those core high-value terms.
All right, let's bring in our first suspect, the intent mismatch trap. This is a big one, folks. It's probably one of the most common culprits for why your rankings might be taking a hit, even while you're getting more visitors. So before we dig in, let's just quickly clarify what search intent is. It's super simple, really. It's just the why behind what someone types into that search bar. Are they trying to buy something, learn something, find a specific website? Getting that why right is everything.
And this is exactly what happens when you get that search intent wrong. You've done this a million times yourself, right? You search for something, you click a result, you scan the page for like 3 seconds, and you realize, nope, this isn't it. So what do? You hit that back button without a second thought.
And here is the absolutely crucial part. Search engines see that. They're watching. That super quick exit, what some people call a bounce, is a massive red flag. It's a direct signal to the search engine that says, hey, this page failed to deliver. And even if thousands of people are visiting and doing that, it's not helping you. It's actually damaging your page's reputation for that keyword.
Okay, on to suspect number 2, the unseen competition. You know, sometimes the problem isn't something you're doing wrong at all. Sometimes it's about what your competitors are doing right.
You have to remember, search rankings are never set in stone. They are always relative. Think of it like a race. You might be improving and running your personal best time, but if the runners next to you are suddenly sprinting, you're going to lose ground. It's a constant battle to be the best, most helpful answer on the page. So, how are they pulling ahead? It could be a million little things. Maybe they just updated their old content to be fresher. Maybe their explanations are clearer, or they've done a better job with their internal linking. You know, especially in really competitive local markets like Sydney or London, even just a tiny tweak to improve location relevance can be enough to totally shake up the search results.
Let's move on to our third suspect. And, well, this one is going to sound a little weird at first. It's the idea that publishing more content can, in some cases, actually hurt you by watering down your own authority. So here's the problem. When you have a whole bunch of pages on your website that are all kind of about the same topic, you're accidentally making them compete against each other. The search engine looks at your site and gets confused. It has no idea which page is the real authority, the one it's supposed to show to users. And that confusion can end up weakening all of those pages. A smart, strategic approach means every single page has a clear, unique job to do. Diluted content is the opposite. It's when you have multiple pages all fighting over the exact same keyword. You know, imagine a plumber has one page for emergency plumbing repairs, another for 24/7 plumbing services, and a third for urgent pipe fixing. To you, they might seem different, but to a search engine, they're all the same thing. You're splitting your own strength and making it harder for any one page to rank well. And that brings us to our fourth and final suspect, those sneaky hidden technical glitches.
And the irony here is that your own success, that rising traffic, can be the very thing that exposes the cracks in your website's foundation. So let's look at the rap sheet for these technical culprits. You've got slow load speeds. I mean, nobody waits around for that. Users are gone before the page even shows up. Then there's a bad mobile experience, which is a total deal breaker since it alienates more than half your audience. And of course, a cluttered, confusing design that just stops people from finding what they need. All of these are huge red flags for search engines. And here's the real kicker. A website that isn't built to handle a lot of visitors will start to buckle under the pressure. What was just a tiny, barely noticeable lag when you had 100 visitors a day becomes a complete site-crashing nightmare when you have 10,000. As your traffic goes up, these technical flaws don't just get noticed more, they become way more damaging to your rankings. Okay, so we've investigated our 4 main culprits. We've seen the evidence. Now it's time to bring it all home, deliver the final verdict, and talk about how we get both your traffic and your rankings moving up together. So, what are the big takeaways here? First, remember, traffic is quantity, rankings are quality. Second, search intent is king. It's more important than just getting bodies through the door. Third, you're never in a vacuum. Your competitors are always making moves. Fourth, don't cannibalize your own content. And finally, user experience is not a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for long-term visibility. So, what's the final verdict in this whole investigation? It's this. The gap between your traffic and rankings isn't the real problem, it's a symptom. The real disease is chasing the wrong metric. The solution isn't just about getting more traffic, it's about becoming a better answer. It's about improving the quality, the relevance, and the overall experience of your website. And that really brings us to the most important question of all, one that you need to ask yourself. Take a hard look at your own strategy. Are you just chasing a bigger traffic number? Or are you focused on becoming the absolute best, most helpful answer for your audience? Because at the end of the day, that is the only metric that truly, truly matters.